Oh, it's so nice to come back on here. Just refreshing my live stream. Welcome to the live stream. This is Coach Mag. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Choo choo choo. Welcome to the live stream. This is Meg. We are just updating, and we're living in interesting times. That if you, what the heck? What is TikTok telling me about? Okay, I don't know what that is. Welcome to the live stream. This is Coach Meg. We are going to talk about building your personal brand online, becoming visible so that you are talking to all the right people, connecting with all the right people, because we all have a group of people that we have the same mindset. We think the same. We want to do life the same way. Some of us are, we do our own thing, but there's always a community around you. There are always people who are similar to you in thinking. And hopefully it's a community of people who enjoy quality of life, people who want to travel, people who want to build their own businesses. People are not blaming the government or the community or, your professional background, but you're deciding, I'm going to build my personal brand. Somebody was asking on a WhatsApp community that I'm a part of, about writing their book, and somebody had given them the worst advice. Welcome to my live stream. This is Coach Meg. Somebody had given them really poor advice. Be careful who you listen to. I'm making a point. Be careful who you listen to. You may want to do something, right? And then if you ask the wrong person, it didn't work out for them, they didn't do their research, you may think, oh, that doesn't work, I'm not going to try that. Wait. You have to do your own research. So in this WhatsApp community, somebody was asking about Amazon. They want to publish a memoir. And they said somebody advised them against it. So I saw the community. I'm usually very busy. I don't have time to be going through all the WhatsApp messages, right? Because I find it a bit distracting sometimes. But I'm a part of the community nonetheless. So anyway, let's see. What is that rubbish that you are commenting here? Block, get you out of the way. Oh, I am playing here. Any silly comments, anything that is inappropriate, blocked. And remember, if you post anything and you start getting blocked on a lot of accounts, you miss out, because the algorithm is going to pick up that you are a troublemaker. So it's you snooze, you lose. Anyhow, welcome to the live stream. We are going to talk about being intentional, being online, and going in the direction that you want, because starting online for many of us is an opportunity to connect with others. It's an opportunity to build community. Some of us, it's an opportunity to learn new skills, right? Some of us, it's an opportunity to learn new skills coming online. So it's so important to do your own research before you even join any community, before you commit to any community long term. That could be a live stream. I come on these live streams once in a while because I'm busy offline. I'm not always here on TikTok. So, but you will see some of my content, and if you go to my page, I don't even need to do any more videos or content on my TikTok page, to be honest, because I have a lot of content on there. But I'm talking to those of you who want to build something worthwhile. Those of you who feel like you wasted a lot of time in a job that hasn't really given you the returns, if you're honest, okay? I am for those of us who realize I need to make up for time that I was in the wrong job. I was wasting time in a useless relationship. There was no return. You were giving and there was no return. Or it was just you didn't have the confidence to walk away. So many of us are coming online because we want to learn new skills. Some of us just come for entertainment because you're bored. You're just like, I want to watch something funny. And some of us, unfortunately, we see all the social media accounts like Tinder. There's some of you are weird on here. Some people are weird on TikTok. They think if they see somebody on a live stream, they know that person and they think it's a dating opportunity. It's gross. But anyway, we are not talking about that. I want to speak to those of you who want to make a difference in your own life, in your finances, in your relationships, in your health. I worked in healthcare for about 3 decades in 3 different countries. And one of the things that I've enjoyed about my story is it has helped me to build my own personal brand. And I want as many of you to understand what your personal brand is, because some people don't understand what a personal brand is. A personal brand is you giving yourself permission to be more than the job title that you've had, to be more than the amount of money you've been making, to be more than your cultural background, to be more than your religious background. Your personal brand is you setting yourself free to do more, to accomplish more, to become more, to learn more. And by the way, here is a law of life. You cannot have more if you don't do more, or if you are not bigger than your current circumstances. Ooh. Have you heard of the be, do, have? Yes. Have you heard of this idea to be, to do, to have? When you become more, you can do more. And when you can do more, you can have more. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Sometimes you want to have more, but you are a small person in your thinking. That can be hard. When you are a small person in your thinking, you take everything seriously. You are petty. You don't accept other people's opinions. That's a small-minded person. Small-minded people can't stand others having different perspectives. Small-minded people have a small life, because when your mind is small, your life will be small. It just makes sense, right? Small-minded people can't stand anybody who has a different perspective from them. Small-minded people get aggressive when somebody else has a different opinion. Small-minded people have a small life. Small-minded people have a small life. They cannot handle people who have a different perspective from them. Okay, TikTok is asking me, I've got a flash goal. Listen, as you are joining my live stream, we are going for it. We're going to have an amazing time. We're going to have a lot of engagement, because I attract people who are action takers, people who are money makers, people who realize that life is bigger than me. Yes, I attract people who realize life is bigger than me, that my perspective is not the only perspective, because small-minded people are only comfortable with people who think like them. Small-minded people cannot build a personal brand. Small-minded people only see their village. Small-minded people only see their city. Small-minded people only see their people group. Small-minded people only see their church background. Small-minded people can't have a big life because their mind is too small to accept that life is bigger than me. Small-minded people can't see God's perspective. Small-minded people can't stand anybody who has a different perspective from them. All this weirdness going on around Charlie Clerk, it is shocking. It is shocking how people cannot stand that somebody else has a different perspective from them. And it is a revealer of the hearts of people. Some of us need to start checking out our friends, because some people have a really strange mindset, like a hybrid. Some of us, it is time to start checking who our friends are. If your friends only have to have a similar perspective to you, God's way is that we can coexist with people who are different from us. God's way is for us to have diverse opinions. Think about it in the business world. We have Apple, we have Google, we have Netflix, we have so many diverse type of businesses because we all have different tastes. We have Apple iPhones and we have Android iPhones. To make a difference in our world is to understand that there are different perspectives in this life. And to coexist with others is a sign of maturity. It's a sign of understanding that the human experience can be beautiful or it can be a nightmare. The human experience can be beautiful or it can be a nightmare. The human experience can be beautiful, amazing, rich, or it can be a right nightmare. The human experience, this is how you know people are growing up. This is how you can tell somebody is self-aware. This is how you can tell somebody is mature, not because of age, but because they realize life is bigger than me. People who have a rich life experience are able to coexist with others who have a different perspective. So we're talking about your personal brand. How do you build a personal brand in these challenging times when there's so much in the marketplace, when there are so many different products and services in the marketplace? How do you build a personal brand? For me, a personal brand is liberating. I used to work in healthcare. I worked in healthcare for 3 decades. I've done my time. I worked in healthcare for 3 decades. I've done my time. We all need to go through that journey of life where you have to work hard, where you're trying to make life work, where you're trying to figure things out, trying to raise a family, having a full-time job, trying to make your love life work. Some people want to jump the queue and have the success of somebody who's done the journey. It's like, okay, you're crazy, you're wild. A lot of people want the shortcut. They're not willing to go through the swamp. A lot of people want the shortcut. They're not willing to do the work. A lot of people want the results of somebody who has been willing to go through the hard phases of life. They want the reward. There are a lot. It's like you are a scammer. You are a scammer if you want the results that only come from hard work. You are a scammer if you only want the results of what only comes by hard work, by being committed, by being resilient, by being determined, by being willing to get up and go up again. It is a scam to believe you can have the results of others who've been willing to work through their own personal challenges. Your personal brand is liberating. Your personal brand is deciding, I'm going to focus on making myself better. Imagine what the world would be like if more people were willing to only focus on improving themselves. Imagine what the world would be like. Because we are seeing some interesting things around this event that has happened in the United States with Charlie Kirk. The hearts of many are being revealed. Many of us need to start checking out our friends, what they believe. Because if some people can be so aggressive towards a stranger that they don't know, that has not even impacted their lives personally. Think about it if those kind of people are in your world. Think about how they think towards you when you are trying to make your life better. There are people in our world who don't want you to have freedom of expression. There are people in your world who don't want you to have freedom of expression. So to build your personal brand is to decide, I don't care who likes me, who doesn't, but this is what I stand for and I care about. And as much as you are trying to do your best to enhance the quality of life of many, you will go far in life. Your personal brand is liberating. Your personal brand is living in a place of freedom. Your personal brand is living in a place of such liberating freedom that you can coexist with others who are different from you. Let me give you my own example. One of the things that I felt challenged was to go on LinkedIn. To go on LinkedIn and share my ideas about business and about the marketplace, about life in general. But in my early days, I was a bit like, there are people on there who have big companies in those early days, and I felt like I didn't have much to contribute to the discussions on LinkedIn. Welcome to Coach Meg. I will not be the coach for you if you don't want to take personal responsibility for where you want to go. This is what trips a lot of people up. They want the results without the hard work. That's a scam. A liar wants the results of the work they're not willing to do. Some people want a great woman, but they don't want to be with her when she's going through hell. They'll run. There are people who will not stay with you until things are better. And it's up to you to work out what kind of people you have in your world. And do you know you only get to know who is in your world when you're going through difficult challenges, when you're going through a difficult patch? That is actually a blessing in disguise. We're talking about personal branding and how to market yourself, how to promote yourself unapologetically. How to promote who you are, what you care about, what you do, and unapologetically how to be different from everybody else. That you can come from a European background, but you understand, I am not like all the Europeans, I'm different. You can come from an African background and realize I am not like everybody else, I'm different. I don't have to agree with somebody else's narrative according to what they went through. Getting involved in a squabble that has got nothing to do with you. This is the world we live in. It's such a distraction to be so focused on other people's squabbles instead of focusing on building your own life, making your own life better. It is interesting to me. And I know this comes with years of wisdom, having observed the human experience. Too many people are not willing. Let me start doing live streaming. Let me get my account to 1,000 followers so that I can start live streaming, because live streaming is one of the fastest ways to grow your TikTok account. Live streaming is one of the fastest ways to start making sales online. If you want to start making sales by doing live streaming, get in touch with Coach Meg, leave me a message. I will help you with all that, okay? You can start making sales by being active on other platforms. Forget thinking about a millionaire mindset, a billionaire mindset, getting rich and all that. It is important to understand the basics. How to make sales on different platforms. How to make sales on different platforms. You can make sales with TikTok shops. You can make sales with affiliate marketing. There are so many. Okay, so we're talking about your personal brand. Your personal brand. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you care about? I think it's Desmond Tutu or Mother Teresa or one of those, I can't remember, who said, if you just make sure that you are willing to help others, not to harm others. Because listen to this, the way God designed us, welcome to my live stream, this is Coach Meg, we are going for it, this is Friday, this is going to be an empowerment session. We are not playing because we are living in interesting times, and it is time to really check yourself and think, who are my friends? Who is in my circle? What do I stand for? What do I care about? Because living in fear is not a way to live. You want to be bold about what you care about, what you focus on. You want to be bold about that. So, it is Friday. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy the life that we are given. Our lives are a gift. Our lives are a blessing. The way we use our brains is so important. Not to demean anyone, but the way we use our brains is so important. The way we think is so important. The way we think really matters. The way you come to a conclusion really matters. You can see, like right now, all this that's going on in the United States right now, there's so many rabbit holes. People are trying to work out what happened and all this. It's very sad what happened to that young man, amazing young man. He stood for something. Too many people don't really even know what they stand for. He stood for something. He stood for freedom. So anyone attacking that is attacking the whole human race. Because even in our own homes, we are different. I spoke about this in one of the videos. Even in our own homes, we are different. In my own family, we are completely different. We have made different choices. In my own family, we are different. We make our own choices. I'm talking about building your personal brand, and I will give you some marketing tips. Yes? To help you to be intentional and strategic so that you can accomplish the goals that you want, so that you can generate the level of income that you want, that you feel and believe you deserve. You could be somebody who can easily start making 6 figures, but you're just not aware that it's about your marketing and your strategy. You may not be aware that it's about updating your CV, it's updating your presence online. You can easily start making 7 figures. My thing is to help you to navigate, yes, and develop your confidence online and realize that you have a voice, you have something to contribute, and don't hide. Don't hide. If you want to live your life by design and on purpose, and I know there's so many different voices here online, and you may think, I'm not like anybody else, I'm different from everybody else. Even within my healthcare industry, I have done different things. I've traveled and lived in 3 different countries. So I have a unique perspective with what I talk about. I have a very unique perspective about the human race, the human experience. So I love to talk about your personal brand because your personal brand gives you the freedom to be yourself. Your personal brand gives you the freedom to decide how you live your life, how you do life, how you work, where you show up. Your personal brand is deciding, you know what, I don't have to be in an environment that is toxic for me. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to income, when it comes to even your church background. Because some of us may be loyal to a church background. I don't understand that question. I don't understand that question. I'm talking about building your personal brand so that you can decide how you do life. I like to call it, I was posting on LinkedIn and saying, doing your life by design, deciding I'm no longer limited by my job title. Your personal brand is setting yourself free, no restrictions. No restrictions. In my own case, that's what I did. After working in healthcare for several years, it was horrible to be in an environment where I felt like this is all I can earn. What was worse was not even about the money. Having been in healthcare for 3 decades, I don't chase money. I attract money. I've proven that to myself over and over again. But I remember the restriction on my time. That was a problem. That's actually what made me decide I'm not doing this. I remember one night shift. And the patients were fast asleep. Most of them were on life support. It was interesting. It was challenging. I could not be anywhere else. I had to be in that one location to earn the income that I was earning. I had to be in one location to earn the income I was earning. I want to repeat that. Somebody's going to understand that when you change your thinking, you cannot unlearn what you now know. You cannot unhear what you hear. I've shared on one of my videos. As I was sat in that nurse's station, and it was so quiet, you can hear a pin drop. I remember asking myself, I can still see myself in that moment, asking myself, is this all I'm going to be doing with my life? I remember asking myself, is this all I'm going to be doing with my life? I'm just coming in, checking in, clocking in, waiting until the end of the month to get paid. Or is there more for me to do? And I became aware in that moment that as long as I am playing it safe, I became so aware that as long as I'm playing it safe, this will be the only experience I will only ever have. And you can imagine by then I was living in my 3rd country, right? I had relocated. I had worked in 2 different countries in Africa, completely different economic and cultural backgrounds. And now I was working in the United Kingdom. And I remember thinking, as long as I stay in my safe place, this will be my only life experience, my only income experience, my only relationship experience. I became so aware, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what I'm going to do. I didn't know how, what, where. But all I remember is really asking myself the question, is this it? Don't get me wrong, it was amazing to work with so many experts from different parts of the world, so many diverse skill sets. Some of the surgeons I worked with, the best at what they do. Like this guy, dude is so good. When he appears in the department, it's just like Superman has arrived. Some of the experts I worked with, really good at what they do. Some of them are really good at brain operations. Some of them were really good at operating on kidneys. Some of them were really good at operating on stomachs. Some of them were really good at operating around the eyes. Different experts. Some of them were really good at making sure if somebody needs to have surgery, we will get this done quick. It was an exciting environment. On the one hand, I want to help somebody understand this, but I also knew that I'm missing out on more. It was good. This is the truth. It had got to a point where I knew I wanted to experience more of life. I didn't come and relocate here to only do so far. So I started, the scientist in me doing some research. And I remember one of my cousins who's a pilot in Africa saying, why don't you do something around healthcare? If you are not happy with where you are, why don't you do something around healthcare? Thank you so much for the engagement. I appreciate you. Good to see you here. I'm talking about transformation, guys, that when you build your personal brand, there are no more limits in your life. When you build your personal brand, you decide, I'm going to discover who I am. I'm going to unlock the side of me that is hidden, that is suppressed under fear or procrastination or whatever your experience is or your reason could be that you might not even be aware. The reason why you postpone, you procrastinate. Sometimes you don't even know, and you can be justifying. Or you can even feel jealous of somebody doing what you could do way better. It's usually a sign, by the way. Jealousy is a sign you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to start doing what they're doing because you can probably do even better than them, by the way. Okay? It is so good to become self-aware. So I took my cousin's advice, and so I decided, what am I also good at? And I noticed something. I'm one of those people that I can be fully present. When I'm working with a client or with a patient, I am fully present. I can switch off all the noise. I don't care about noise. I can zone in. I can shut everybody off. I can shut off all the noise, which is a very important skill set to have here on social media. There's a lot of noise on social media. You will find that after 10 years, you haven't accomplished your goals. I want you to focus, okay? I want you to focus and decide, what am I trying to accomplish? That doesn't mean you will not have fun or enjoy your life. Of course not. That's the old way of doing life and business. You can enjoy your journey. That's the best way. I like to call it holistic business coaching. There are times I don't want to come on a live stream. I want to watch my favorite Korean drama. I had to unlearn. Okay, so I decided one of the things I'll do is I'll start coaching families in the community, those who are dealing with the complexities, right, of living with a medical condition. Where are the hearts and the lights, guys? I am looking for the hearts and the lights and all the different gifts I'm trying to remember. I don't come on live streaming all the time, so every time I come, it's very, I enjoy coming on here the few times that I come. Unless I'm doing a challenge. Sometimes I do a challenge where I want to help you to get to a certain goal here on TikTok. So I'll do like a 5-day challenge, but I'm not doing that at the moment. So anyhow, one of the things I decided I'll work with families in the community, it was an eye-opener. Because one, I started making more money than in my full-time job. Go figure. Go figure. I was making more money than when I was working full-time. And that took courage, let's be honest. But it was not nice to feel restricted, guys. It was not nice to feel restricted. To feel like this is all I can do, it was not a nice experience. Struggling financially and trying to manage, spend quality time with my children, that was not nice to do. Then you start working in the community and you're making more money every day or every week, more than I was making in my full-time job. The job that I was trained to do, I had the paperwork for. Oh, this is going to help somebody. Do not idolize, do not be too impressed with your paper qualifications. That could be a trap. Do not be too impressed with the title, guys. That can be a trap. Do not be too impressed with the arrival mindset. That can be a trap. We have to be willing to explore sides of us that are locked, that are hidden away because of, I like to say, corporate conditioning. And I remember in that time deciding, let me also explore working in a private hospital. So I started working in a private hospital as well because I was free to do whatever the heck I want. So I also did a stint where I worked for a private hospital. It was amazing. It's a powerful brand. I met so many of my clients. Some of them were scientists, some of them were professors. I have such a diverse background. I'm grateful to God for that. But I want to say something that is important. You may not have my background. All I want to say is this. You have to think, do I want to keep doing what I'm doing in the next 10 years? I want you to think about that. Do I want to keep doing what I'm doing for the next 10 years? Do I want to be earning what I earn for the next 10 years? Because nothing changes until we make a different choice, until we make a different decision. Nothing changes, guys. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Because when the truth is in your face, it's in your face for a reason, right? It's in your face for a reason. And I was like, I did not come this far to settle, for goodness sake. I did not come this far to settle. And I remember I had an amazing time working in that private hospital. I remember one of my patients, he was a businessman, and we were preparing him for back surgery. So, being the person I am, I'm a people person, I'm fully present, I would always build rapport. That's one of my skill sets, how to build rapport with others, how to mirror others, okay? And some of you need to understand how to do that. You cannot be in your own world and try to connect with others, the people that you want to work with anyway, right? You have to understand how to work with others who are different from you, from a different background. It's a spiritual principle, by the way, that when you put others first, because you know how to make time for you anyway, right? You know how to make time for you. So when you are with a patient or with a client, you are fully present, people will open up to you. I have this all the time whenever I come on my live stream. So I remember this businessman. I can't remember what business he had, but we were talking about his business and all this, and he started opening up to me and telling me, Meg, I was too focused on my business. I neglected my body, and now I have to have back surgery. And he would share how he was really working too hard. That's why if you find me on LinkedIn, I talk about holistic business coaching and building your personal brand, because I've experienced it. People talking to me about their own journey. And so, we prepared him for back surgery, and I felt sorry for the guy. And now he had to start getting better. We had to help him to start learning how to walk again, how to support himself. So all these things, all these ideas that I experienced from my healthcare days, I was like, how do I put together a training package to help people understand that if you don't take care of yourself now, you will regret it later. You may make the money, but you will regret it. Don't do that. Learn now, okay? Because you'll hear others, you may watch Alex Hormozi, he broke the Guinness World Record, and he made, I can't remember how much he made on one live stream, but he broke the Guinness World Record. Alex Hormozi, some of you may know him. I'm not dropping names, I'm just giving an example. I don't know him personally, but I have been following some of his content because his ideas are like wild. I love that. I love people who challenge my thinking. So after working with that client, helping him get better and going home, it made me reflect. If I ever get into running my own business, doing my own business, I have to learn from the mistakes of others. That's one thing I knew straight away. I knew that I must learn from the mistakes of others. Because even in my healthcare days, I had another colleague I used to work with. She started a recruitment company. She was so stressed out. So, that's wisdom, right? Learn from the mistakes of others. I was like, not that way. Not that way. So anyhow, I'm going to share something here. I started working with, by then I think I had now transitioned working in the community. I did that for like 6 years, 7 years. And I kept thinking, if I start this kind of service or product for the community, it's going to be challenging. Because I didn't like how some of those clients, how they treat their caregivers. I was really put off. I was put off by clients who take their caregivers for granted. Because either expectations were not planned at the beginning, there was mismanagement, communication. So this is an industry where the turnover is so big. And if you have a different perspective, let's talk about it. If you want to start a home care business and you want some ideas from somebody who's been in the field, get in touch with me. I have a coaching program for you. We can absolutely do that. I can help you get started and build it. The adult social care needs a revamp. It needs different opinions, different fresh eyes. The turnover is huge. Because on the one hand, there are companies who are doing things the same way, the old way they've always done it. And there are caregivers who are doing things the same way everybody does it just to make the money, and it doesn't work. There is such a big opportunity to have a different perspective, to do things completely differently in the industry. But anyway, let me go to transformation. As I was working with some of my clients, I remember working with one lady. Very smart woman. Oh my goodness. This is going to help somebody. Sometimes we're too smart for our own good. We overthink things. Instead of just implementing that idea, you are overthinking it. You're too scared. What if it goes wrong? Listen to this. Whatever's going to go wrong in life will go wrong. Whatever's going to go whatever's going to go wrong in life is going to go wrong. Get ready. What matters is how you respond to what has gone wrong. Okay? What matters in life is not that things go wrong, it's how we respond that matters. And here is a smart perspective. You can decide ahead of time, if things go wrong, this is how I will approach it. That's your unique personal brand. That's your unique voice. Okay? Like in my case, when I worked, I forgot to say, when I worked in the healthcare hospital, there came a private group of hospitals. I decided there was a time I wanted to take on more responsibility because my colleagues were like, Meg, take on more. We need somebody like you to help us, you know. And I wasn't even really looking for a senior role. I was always entrepreneur-minded. I wanted the freedom to travel, to do whatever the heck I want to do. I didn't want to feel restricted to one department. And I know some people idolize and they feel like getting a senior role in a company is a big deal. To be honest, let me tell you the truth. At some point, you will realize it's not a big deal because you will take on more responsibility, but you will also be restricted. But hey, you have to make your decision, okay? But here is my take. When I didn't get the role, the senior role, I was like, within 30 days, I put in my notice. I was like, I have options. And that may sound arrogant to somebody, but it wasn't. It was me thinking for my own life. Like, if I'm not even going to get a senior role, what am I doing here? I'm going to be going around the same rubbish? If I'm not taking on more responsibility, getting higher pay, you mean I'm going to be doing the same thing for what? Why? You see, this is the beauty of thinking for yourself, deciding this is not right for me. I want to do something else. It takes courage, I understand. That is what I'll be teaching, and I want to support you and training you how to believe in yourself a bit more, to realize that you've got more to bring. You've got more to offer. Just because you are in a job doesn't mean you are restricted to that job. There's a whole world waiting for you. But you never discover what else is available for you if you're only limiting yourself to one space in life, right? So as I was working with some of these clients, I remember this lady, really smart woman. Ooh, she'll question everything. It's like, she was one of those clients who, she actually wants to see your paperwork that you are trained. Even if I had been screened by like what? Maybe 4 different people, a bit too much. But hey, it is what it is. Don't worry about people screening you, and there are people who want you to prove something, and it's like, it's for what? After all that, I'm not even getting paid for what I'm worth. It's not even about your expertise. It's just about deciding, I'm giving what you need. I deserve better. And so that's how I started working out, okay, what else do I want to do? So I started making handmade jewelry. I did a bit of recruitment. I did a bit of helping people to update their CVs. You know, I did a bit of relocation. Those of you who want to relocate and you want to travel the world. So in essence, I'm saying I did different things. I even did a cleaning company, helping professionals. One of my clients was a multi-millionaire. Because I wanted to understand the field. That how does it work? How do you find your own clients? Because at the time, I wasn't really good with organic marketing. I didn't really understand how to do organic marketing. I'm better at it now, but I didn't understand it then. I didn't understand how to do paid ads. I'm way better now, but I didn't understand all that. This is what I mean, guys. You don't even need to wait for somebody else. Just give yourself freedom to do your own research and then start working out, okay, where do I want to be? So the more I did that, the more I started to work out, this is still a bit much. And in all that, I came across a multimillionaire who had overcome anxiety and living on a survival budget. This was revealing for me. This was an eye-opener. I'm sharing a bit of my journey because you may wonder, what is Coach Meg talking about? What does it mean to build your personal brand and to promote yourself, to do what you want to do? You have to believe in yourself that it is possible. But if you have a fixed mindset, which means you don't believe you can learn something new, that can be hard. Okay? A growth mindset is admitting that there's some things I don't know and being honest with yourself. There's some things I don't understand, but somebody else knows. And that means, say you decide I want to be a part of the network of what Meg is doing, there'll be different people who know something I don't know in the community. And I don't have a problem with that. Anybody who claims to know it all is a know-it-all and is a liar. Run. Anybody who gives you the impression they know it all, run. Even the presidents don't know everything. That's why they have a team of people around them. So anyway, I came across this multimillionaire talking about how she made $1 million in one setting at a live event. I almost fell over my chair like, wait, what? I was like, what? How is that even possible? How is that possible? And I made a decision straight away. I'm going to check her out. I'm going to study because I've been in online space for a while. I can test things out and I wanted to know, like, okay. You see, up until that point, I didn't know there was a different way to work. I was trying, making mistakes, fumbling and all this. But one thing about me is I don't give up. I don't quit until I accomplish my result. I may have to go round, over, through, but quitting is not an option. That's my mindset. That's just the way I'm wired. Because I believe what God has for you, it is for you. If it means it's going to be a fight, be ready to fight. And by that I also mean we have to fight through our emotions, where you decide more money, not emotions. So as I'm listening to this session, I decided to invest in a class that she was doing. I put some money on the table because I knew I had to invest something, and this was just my way of appreciating that there's somebody who's willing to teach what they learned. And I was blown away, and I have never looked back. I have never looked back to when I realized there's a different way of doing life that doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be like you have to volunteer for suffering, because sometimes you can be addicted to affliction. You are addicted to suffering. There is no badge of honor for that, because all the challenges of life, seasons change. So I had to come in agreement and in alignment with who I really am. I had to come in alignment and in agreement with who I really am, that I'm already wealthy. I don't have to chase money. I'm already wealthy because I already have enough life experiences to do so many things that I want to do. And I've already done so many up until that point. Because you may be watching this and feeling like the oldest lie in the world that you are not enough. It's the oldest lie in the world, all the way back to the Bible. From the beginning of time, that you are not enough. It's the biggest lie ever. It's the biggest lie ever that you are not enough. It's the biggest lie ever. When you believe you're not enough, when you believe this is all I know, it's like the mind shuts down. Somebody can be speaking, you can watch my live stream and just dismiss it and go back to a job that doesn't value you. Go back to a job that doesn't appreciate you. Go back to a relationship that you have to walk on eggshells. Imagine this. Instead of going back to a job that is painful and you don't feel valued, you're not seen, you have to hide your gifts and talents. What about finding a better way? While you are still going back to that job, which is smart, stay with that job. But it is smart to start working on your exit strategy, a business term. It is smart to start working on your exit strategy. That when I'm finished here, I've got a plan. That's how I relocated to the West. I saw that, okay, I may not have the right circumstances that I want in my life right now, but I can work in a different environment. I can work in another country. We always have options. We always have options. The question is, are you willing to give yourself permission to take another option? That's what you have to ask yourself. Am I willing to do things differently? So say, for example, you may be running a business. You've already started running a business, but you're a bit skeptical with the AI. You're not implementing AI. You're not using AI to speed things up for yourself. There are many discussions and debates around that. But what you have to think is, never mind what everybody else is saying. Decide, let me think for me. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to do? So say, for example, you may have a recruitment company, right? You may have a recruitment company. And there's a way you've been hiring clients, finding clients, matchmaking them to the right companies, the way you've done it in the past. Now with artificial intelligence, you can give it the prompts you need so that your workflow, how you work from day to day, how you're finding customers and clients can be completely different. And by the way, there are many people online right now, a few that I know, that are easily making 6 figures by doing recruitment, matchmaking. And the times we're living in, if you're not working on a 6-figure plan, 7-figure plan, we are living in interesting times. Times are changing. You have to think about it. You have to think about it. That is this going to work for me in the next 5 years? Is this going to work for me in the next year? So your personal brand is setting yourself free to explore what else is possible, to unlock, to discover the hidden side of you that you didn't even know was possible. I love personal branding because it's just about deciding, what do I want to accomplish? And here is how it works on social media. I've been in the online space for a while. Let's talk about LinkedIn, or let's talk about here on TikTok. If you only show up once in a while on TikTok, forget it. If you only show up once in a while here on TikTok, forget it. If you only show up once in a while on TikTok, forget about it. If you only show up once in a while here on TikTok, forget about it. You will not attract your ideal audience, your ideal community. If you only show up once in a while, it will not work. No way, forget about it. Remember, one of the things I said at the beginning of the live stream is too many want results for the work they're not willing to do. It doesn't work like that. You cannot put a little bit of effort and expect a humongous result. It's like, are you wild? Are you crazy? The rules must change for you. There's a place to put somebody like that. There are some spaces where we put people who are weird. People have to get to know you. People have to get to like you. People have to get to trust you. And granted, some people won't like you when you are doing your own thing. So you have to work out, who do I want to work with? Do I necessarily want to work with people who just like me, but they are not engaging with what I do? It's called vanity metrics. Getting a lot of likes, but not getting any conversions is a waste of time. That's why you don't need a huge following to grow your business on TikTok. You don't need a huge following to grow your business on social media. You don't. You just need the right people. People who appreciate what you have to offer. People who understand how it works. People who understand that the online space is just about trying to figure things out. You may try one thing, it doesn't work out. Because like in marketing, right? You have to test different ads. I use Canva, I use ChatGPT, I use all these to help me to save myself time. Because remember, I'm talking about the multi-millionaire coach I was learning from, right? And I realized there's a better way to do things. It doesn't always have to be hard. I appreciate you, Tony. Good to see you here. Stay connected, yes? Stay connected. No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you for getting me to 500 likes. It's amazing. This is how I know you're going to do well, Tony, by the way, because you're an action taker, you're engaging. You know, sometimes I forget the algorithms want us to be engaging because it tracks people are engagers and it will push all your content to the FYP page. The FYP page is people who don't know about you. We all need the free visibility, by the way. We all need it, even if you're multi-millionaire. Even if you're a multi-millionaire, who wants to be spending money on ads when you can get them for free? You know what I mean? Who wants to be spending money when you can get customers for free? You can get more eyes on your content for free. So the algorithm wants us to be engaging, to be doing the gifts and all these things. And I have to restrict how I say that because for some reason, the algorithms doesn't want you to be saying that. But anyway, your personal brand, update your content online, okay? Update your images online. Make sure you have a professional looking image so people can take you seriously. People who have the money to invest in what you do, okay? People have the budget. People are serious. People understand social media is huge, okay? And it's about becoming consistent. Consistently sharing your message without diverting from it. Consistently sharing your message. There's more wealth in your message than in your products and services. That's a topic for another day. There is more money in your message more than your products and your services. There are people who don't understand how to tie a message around your products and your services. Okay. You've heard me talking about my own message, my own journey of transformation, how it is so much better now that I'm on the other side, that I get to live my life as I choose. I get to spend my time as I choose. I'm so grateful I can make up for time that I felt like I had missed out on, raising my kids in a strange land, and I was the only parent. Can you imagine the guilt? I was feeling guilty that I'm trying to raise my children in a strange land. Never mind being a single parent. I had to try and make that work. I was already feeling guilty, feeling bad. So I don't play. I don't care how many challenges I feel. But I choose to spend quality time with my family because family at the end of the day is all that's left. Family is all that's left. Hey, Josephine, good to see you here. Appreciate you. Family is all we've got left, guys. You can travel the world. You can date whoever you choose. You can work with big companies, but family is all that's left. There's a coach on LinkedIn. She talks about how she helps women to make six figures because they're so talented, but they don't know how to position themselves in big companies. And I think she's from India. She now lives in the United States. So I've been following her journey because it's a bit like what I talk about. She realized, I think she worked for Google and Amazon and all these big brands. And she decided, I can help other women because that's what she did. She didn't allow her story to hold her back. Because that's what happens sometimes when you are in a completely new culture. It can feel a little bit like, how do I make this work, you know? You can even feel inferior, like other people are better than you. How come you don't know this yet? Somebody said something that was so healing to me. Please give yourself the mercy and the permission and the grace to navigate your own journey. We are all on a different timeline. This is what this person said. That while other people were accomplishing certain results in their life, you were busy trying to survive. So you cannot put yourself on the same timeline with somebody else who they probably had the right support. But you were just trying to survive day to day, right? As in my story. So I was like, when I got the chance to escape, I was like, I'm not looking back. Up to today, there's no looking back, the sense of freedom. And I must admit, I had to go through my own healing, of course. I had to go through processing, forgiving people. I did not choose to become a single parent. But somebody was not willing to carry the weight of leadership. I did not choose to become the leader. I had to start operating in my masculine energy to survive. I didn't choose to operate in masculine energy. This is going to help somebody. Sometimes you have to operate in masculine energy to get things done. Where I'm completely detached. Okay, what do we need to do? Okay, one is that. Who do I need to hire? You know? And then revert to your feminine energy. Right? It can be challenging to live in a completely different culture and to make life work for yourself. It was not an easy thing. To feel like I'm trapped and I'm stuck here, that wasn't nice. That was not a nice feeling. It feels like life sucks when you can't get control of things. It is so much better now. I can do a live stream. Some of my clients have been on a live stream. I'm doing a live stream. Coach Meg, I like what you do. Let's go. Where do I book? How do I make the payment? Amazing. Amazing. That's amazing. I'm on a live stream. Somebody loves my energy and they take my content as value because they're also on the same journey. They're like, she's been doing this longer than me. Let me learn from her and accomplish my goals. Isn't that wise? Isn't that smart? So I'm not the coach for everyone. I'm not the coach for people who are indecisive. It's hard to be indecisive. There are times I've said I would probably be a billionaire by now if I was more decisive. So learn from my mistakes, okay? Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. When you see how people behave, believe them. When you are in a relationship and you see how somebody behaves, do not pretend. She is who she is showing you she is. He is who he is showing you he is. People don't change for your sake. In my workplace, in the environment, people like that nice side of you. Patient, kind, you're fully present. But I'm not earning enough to support the lifestyle I choose. So I had to make the choice. I had to make the choice. This is not about the company. This is my choice. I can blame the organization and the companies until the cows come home. But at the end of the day, I had to take my power back. So your personal brand, guys, is a liberating journey to go on. Your personal brand is a liberating journey. I had to start exploring, what else do I like doing? I started discovering I love listening. I'm a very patient person when it comes to listening. I am fully present. I can sit with a client and I'm fully present. I'm not distracted. In these times of so much noise, we all need people that are fully present. So my coaching packages reflect my skill set. I'm not for people who, you know when you're not willing to take responsibility for your life, you can remain a victim all your life. This is not a nice thought. When we don't own our journey, you can feel like a victim of circumstances. I was not willing to do that. I was like, that's too much power. It doesn't matter who did what. I'm owning my story. I decided I'm going to own my own journey. I remember doing different things like even house sitting, where you can live in a big, wealthy part of London for free. Did you know you can live in an expensive part of your city, especially in the West? I don't think this is in Africa. You can live there for free. You can live in a house for free because the owners are busy people. The owners are busy people and they're going somewhere, they're going on holiday and they need somebody to keep an eye on their house. That's one of the things I've done. And I'm busy on my laptop. But I'm living rent free. So you see, so that can be challenging, right? Because I don't accept excuses. I really don't. Excuses don't work with me. Because I know to get to a point where you have to sell everything that you have. I've sold everything that I had at the time. put them on eBay, my best outfits, my best dresses, having to sell them because I understood where I'm going is bigger than where I've been. I had to detox. Any emotional attachment, by the way, to things is not smart. I don't come online to play just because I like the sound of my voice. No, I want to make a difference in your life. That you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, like, who am I kidding? Because at the end of the day, right, you can lie to everybody else that it's okay. You can pretend everything is okay. But when you're lying down on your pillow and you're feeling the pain, you feel the pain. Nobody else can feel the pain for you. You can even be around people who love you, who care about you. But when you're not playing all out, you're playing small. Look at this young man, gone too soon. He played all out. The other day I was listening to an interview. He started around 19. I was like, wow. He quickly discovered his purpose at an early age. And I wish more people knew him in a different way, in a better circumstance. Now many of us know him. I wish there was a better way that we met him, we got to know about him. But he played it all out. He lived out his purpose. He lived out his purpose. He lived out his purpose. What an amazing young man. What an amazing young man. And I don't know about you, but I'm still trying to get my head around it. I'm still trying to get my head around people who behave like hybrids. A hybrid is not fully human. It doesn't matter if somebody has a different opinion from you. Do they deserve not to exist? That is so strange. That's got me concerned. I'm even making my circle smaller. My circle is already small, but that made me see that, wow. There are people who, if you have a different opinion to them, some of you care too much what people think. You have no idea they don't care if you even exist. There are people right now who don't care that you exist and you are afraid to show up online. Let this incident be a message to many of us who care too much about the opinion of people who would rather you don't even exist. Let this be a message that if you have a message, go all out. Use wisdom. Who is a part of your private circle? Who cares about what you care about? Let this be a message to all of us that there are people who... I was thinking about this, right? I was thinking about this. Okay, come on, TikTok. What's this about? I am here. What is this? Is this algorithm programmed the right way? I don't know if this algorithm is programmed the right way because I am active and I'm speaking, but it's saying detecting inactivity. So listen, make sure that you're engaging. If this is helpful to you and it's making you think and it's provoking you to think, wow, I really need to play all out. This is not the time to play small. If I have products and services, how can I be more visible online? How can I learn from Coach Meg how to make sure I'm attracting the right people into my community? Okay? Because at the end of the day, life is better when you're living out your purpose and you're not hiding, you're not intimidated, where you are learning. You are learning that I don't have to stay in a toxic relationship. I can get out. I don't have to depend on somebody who doesn't respect me or value me. I can get out. You will learn a lot about life the more you live life. But you know what is even more interesting is when you decide, I'm not going to be intimidated, I'm going to live all out. That's when the adventure starts. And that's when your circle, you will get to know who the real people are. You don't know who people are in your life until you are brave and courageous with your life. For all you know, you are surrounded with pretenders, people who pretend to like you. But they don't care if you exist or not. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? The only way you know who is real in your world is if you are really being you. You are playing all out. You are not waiting for permission. You know, you do what you need to do. You don't know who people are in your life until you are making choices that are important for you. I remember in my healthcare days, we were just having this discussion. We were looking after a patient who was on a kidney machine, on kidney support. And we were just having this discussion about business and life. And for some reason, I spoke about starting your own business and all this and the ideas. And we were sharing ideas. Then one of them looked at me and said, "Oh, but how are you going to manage this? How are you going to manage that?" Which is a projection. Yes, people will project onto you their own fears. If they can't do it, they'll project. Now, I could have listened and said, "You're right, I better just stick it out and just do life like you." I had a different family setup. I had a different family dynamic to her. You have to be honest with yourself. If you listen to the wrong people, I was on a WhatsApp group. I said this earlier. Somebody asked about publishing their book on Amazon. And I don't know who their coach was or their advisor was, or maybe it was just general advice. That is why it helps to invest in professional advice. It helps to invest in professional advice. Like what I'm doing here. Because listen to this, without doing her own research, and the person who gave them the advice, they told them not to do it. So being the coach that I am, I just went on there and I gave the free advice. If they take it or they don't, that's up to them. Whether they want to make money or not, it's up to them. If you take the advice, it's up to you. If you don't take it, that's up to you. The people who want to move forward in life, they invest, they put time aside, and they do whatever it needs to. So what's happening with the hearts and the engagement? Let's go, guys. Let's get the engagement up. Yes? If this is resonating with you, make sure you also share with others, because I'm the kind of person who cares about family. We all come from families. I don't understand some humans are strange. They don't appreciate family, but they came from a family. They have the audacity to speak against family, but they came from a family. It's like you are here because of a family. It's so weird. Like you didn't fall out of a tree. It's really strange to me how people use their brains. It's really interesting to me. It's really interesting. So I love to talk about personal branding and building your presence online so that you can reach more people, so that you can accomplish your financial goals. Because it doesn't matter what you are learning, the different skills and the different hacks and the different tips, if you don't take some time to work out, where do I really want to go? What do I want to accomplish? Right? So I went on that WhatsApp group and I shared some tips for free, what they need to do. And the person came back to me and was like, "I appreciate the advice. That is so helpful." Because this is what I've learned. Sometimes people listen to just anybody's advice. There are people who give you advice because they don't want you to win. They don't want you to succeed. Oh yeah? It's real. Some of you have people in your circle, they're giving you advice about something they haven't even done the research. And it's because some of them, they don't want you to win. They don't want you to do well. So you have to decide, who am I going to listen to? It is better to invest in professional advice. Because like in my case, say for example, you're like, "Coach Meg, I want to write a recipe book. I'm not sure where to start. I have some ideas, some different recipes, things I want to do. How can I do this online? How can I attract the right customers and clients?" I would probably ask you, what's your lifestyle option? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? And what's your time frame? Okay? Because I do this professionally, having done it for others and for my own journey. Fortunately, in my case, when I was going through my own transformation, I didn't even put any limits. I was just like, I'm out of here and I'm going on my own journey. And I'm going to figure things out as I'm going. So if you don't have professional advice, you're going to do whatever somebody else tells you. When you don't find a professional to help you, somebody who is coaching in that space, consulting in that space, you can take anybody else's advice. There are people they haven't done the research. They've listened to one person's experience and they decide, oh, that's how I'm going to do. It's like, please learn to slow down and think for yourself. Here is a scientific way to come at a healthy conclusion. Be a scientist in your life. You don't need a science degree, but be a scientist, okay? Do not rely on one person's perspective. Because you will suffer the consequences of that one perspective. Do not rely on one perspective. This is part of the coaching that I do. You have to be willing to do some research. Let me check. How does this work? How can I do this? Do your own research. If it doesn't make sense, invest with a coach. Look, I'm not sure how to do this. I've been seeing you online. I've been seeing your content. Give me some support. Give me some guidance. That's what I like to do. It's part of what I do. And I do it in my own time. Okay? So I actually have a calendar because as I shared on my own journey, I realized I cannot be putting myself out there for everybody else who doesn't value the wisdom, the roadmap, the success story. And then people go, gatekeeping, right. You can go on all my videos. There's a lot of information that I give away. You can go to my YouTube account. There's a lot of information I give away. But your unique circumstances, nobody can gatekeep. Nobody can gatekeep. When it comes to our own unique life story and what we are trying to accomplish, nobody can gatekeep. So here is how to be like a scientist, how to think like a scientist. I'm speaking generally here, by the way. Find different perspectives from people who are different from you. Some of us, you need to be learning from people who look different from you. It will help you. Otherwise, you are biased. You will be biased if you only listen to people who look like you, who think like you, who go to the same church like you. That is a limited way of thinking, guys, and I'm speaking generally. The best way is to listen to people from different perspectives who think differently from you. And by the way, the human experience is the same. It doesn't matter what cultural background it is. The human experience is the same. Everybody wants to live in a happy home. I don't know who doesn't want to live in a happy home. There is a space for people like that. Everybody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who loves them unconditionally. And who you also love unconditionally. Because it's not just about taking, it's also about giving. To the degree you're willing to give is to the degree you will receive. It's one of the laws of life. You try to change God's laws, forget about it. Nobody's bigger than God. You try to do your own thing. Let me know how you get on in 10 years' time. There are ways God has made life to work that's just how it works. There are people who want results here on social media, here on TikTok, for the work they're not willing to do. I'm stuck in 200 view jail. Those are real people. 200 views are real people. You don't need a lot of people to make good money online. You don't need a lot of people. It just depends on your business model that you choose. You don't need a lot of people. You don't need a lot of people. If you want to work with impulsive buyers or impulsive, products that people buy without having to think about it, that's a different thing, right? That's one business model. That's one of the consulting things that I do. What is your business model? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to be? What will work for you? Not what works for everybody else. Not what is exciting for everybody else. No, you have to think for me, right? What will work for me? And this is exciting when everybody's doing the same thing. It's like, let's go, let's go. Everybody's excited. Okay, just don't fall through the cracks. Life is a race. And we are all running our own race, like it or not. We are all running our race. Are you on track? Charlie Kirk has run his race. Kirk has run his race. He has finished the race. A great soldier. He has run his race. You can't compete with anybody else. Don't, this mob psychology, peer pressure. Everybody's doing this. Oh, let's go. Be careful of people who are like that. These are the people who are troublemakers, and they will decide anything about you. After this Charlie Kirk story, many of us, we have to start evaluating our circle of friends, because there are people who don't think. They really don't use their brains correctly. They think if somebody has a different opinion from me, they can't exist. But they would rather push down your throat their ideas. It's like, are you crazy? Yes, human rights is a big thing. Human rights, even somebody who has wild ideas from you, deserves the right to exist. I am shocked. And I believe it's God's way for us to see the human heart. People don't believe that the human heart is wicked. A lot of people now know. And I know some of us know, but to this scale, to this degree, if somebody thinks differently from me, they can't exist. Wow. Many of us are going to be evaluating our circles like, start observing your friends, by the way. Do your friends want you to win? Or are they working on a plan to make sure they win in life? Or are they always complaining about the government? There are people who aren't like this. Oh yes, in these times, this is really like, oh wow. I remember when the George Floyd thing happened. I'm learning to protect my energy and my spirit now. It was a bit traumatic. I watched it on the news, as we all did. It was horrible. Ephron, tell me about it. Tell me about it. And this is why I am passionate about what I talk about, how to build your personal brand, to understand what you're trying to accomplish in life, and focus and exercise wisdom, okay? Exercise wisdom, how to live your life in such a way that you're doing your own thing, okay? People who want to listen, they'll listen. People who just want to argue with you, they'll always argue with you. They will... Listen, I learned this on my own journey. It doesn't matter. You can talk until the cows come home. There are people who, even if somebody rose from the dead, it's in the Bible, to tell them, I have been on the other side. This is how bad it is. There are people who will not believe you. They will actually say you're out of your mind. We know now. We have all these videos on YouTube. Some of them may be made up, but some are true. There are people who will never believe, because God knows the human heart. God who made the human race. God made us to be different. That's why we already look different. Does that mean we can't coexist? Of course not. Do I need everybody to agree with me? Of course not. I was sharing earlier on, relocating to the United Kingdom. Oh my word. Like, it's a completely new culture. One good thing I knew was healthcare is the same across the world. We may have different types of equipment, but sickness and disease is the same in every part of the world, right? But that was challenging. I had to make my own decision. Is this how I'm going to be working? Is this how I'm going to be supporting my family? I had to make a choice for me. Blaming the NHS, and I know they're striking now, right? Oh yes, Ephron, I have this thing, and I'm not far from. We have hybrids among us. We have hybrids among us. That is why you can't just date anyone. I feel sorry for people who are just dating anything and anyone. There are people who, they're hybrids. You're going to have children, and those children are going to be your worst enemies. They want your worst enemies to be from within you. Jesus said, your worst enemies are from your own family. Some people are not real. Some people are hybrids. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the last days. We are living in interesting times. We are living in interesting times, guys. We are living in interesting times that you need to have a conviction what you believe. Yeah. You have to have a conviction what you believe and be so sure about what you believe, but to still understand that we have to coexist with people who are different from us. You don't even have to think too deeply. You don't have to overthink it. When I relocated to the United Kingdom, I knew people thought differently from me, and they knew I thought differently. And I knew there were some who wanted me to adopt the English way of life, like I have to be English for me to fit in. No, I don't have to be English. I am who I am. I am an international. If you can only be a part of my world if I behave and think like you, that's odd. Of course, there are some things that it's civilization, absolutely. Yes, there are certain things I just understood how to do it like I do now. I understand how capitalism works. Oh, we're speaking the same language. There are some things I don't appreciate about the English culture, and there are many things I appreciate about the English culture. Just like in every culture, right? Coexisting with others is a part of life. So that's why I'm passionate about this topic, developing your personal brand, understanding how to make life work for you, not to be distracted with all the noise. There's a lot of noise on social media. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise on social media. How do you accomplish your goals in the noise, in the chaos, in the drama? Which is why I walked away from healthcare. I remember when I worked in the intensive care department. Oh my goodness. If you don't know how to think on your feet, you can feel lost. And this is not me just like it's a flex. No. Life in general, how do you escape the noise is decide. You know, with my method, right? With one of the ways I work. Hey, Ocean View, good to see you here. I hope you are well. One of my methods is how to make more money doing less. How to make more money doing less. That's, um, because I know what it was like to be so conditioned to be working hard in the hospital, long hours. And you have to keep going to make money, to pay your rent. You have to keep going. Survival life. That is tough. I'm not even where I want to be. I have big dreams. I don't share everything on here. But what I discovered was there has to be a better way. There is always a better way. There is always a better way. And one of my goals is to level the playing field, that it doesn't matter what your background comes from. It doesn't matter. It's just decide what you're passionate about, what you care about, and then go for it. And many of us, our personal brand comes from our mess. That could be from relationships. That could be from family drama that you have experienced. Here is something I like to say. Self-governance is the highest form of government. People who understand self-governance, they are so busy making their life better. They haven't got time for drama and chaos and nonsense. One of my English clients, a lady who was in her 90s, she said, Meg, do people who are trying to survive have these problems we have in the West? One of my clients in her 90s, an English lady, she was a retired professor at the time. She's probably gone by now. It was a long time ago I was working with her. She said, the problems of the West, Meg, are interesting. When people are just trying to survive, to make life work, do they have time for all these problems we have in the West? The luxury of and you know what is interesting sometimes is some of this noise is around people who need to start improving their own quality of life, because even in the West, because of the noise, the chaos, the drama, we all need to be improving some area of our life. And that's just one of the laws of life. That if we're not improving our quality of life, our life is going downwards. It's like we all have to choose, am I going to make my life a little bit better, or by default is my life spiraling downwards? These political ideologies are, it's not safe. It is not safe. These political ideologies, when you really look at the history, me and my son were discussing this, a lot of ideas have been debunked. A lot of ideologies have been debunked. The only thing that remains is your relationship with your Creator. The only ideology that remains is your relationship with your Creator. Because when you have peace with God, I know what that feels like now. You don't have a, like, let people do what they do, just, stay in your space, I'll live in my space. Self-governance becomes such an attractive thing. People don't have to like me, but if we have agreed, like I've worked with some clients, they don't like somebody with my background, but we agreed how much I should be paid. I don't care if you don't like me, pay up. I want to see the money in my bank account. You don't have to like me, pay me. That's what we agreed. Or there is a place called Small Claims Court. End of story. We have to learn. You don't need everybody to like you to survive in life. That doesn't make sense. Think about it. You don't need everybody to like you in life, to appreciate you. I'm getting really passionate about this because of what's just happened. You don't need everybody to accept you. Many of us have been living with this for a long time. I've worked in places where the surgeon is like, I don't want somebody like that to look after my patients. Somebody of her background. The audacity. It wasn't his hospital. It wasn't his hospital. And he didn't want somebody of my background to look after a patient who I was one of the most qualified to look after. I had the experience and the skills to look after somebody who's just come from surgery. The audacity. But I think it was a religious cult kind of mindset anyway. He was probably one of those. And the matron at the time, or the sister in charge, said, she's the best I've got on this shift. So don't tell me about, I need everybody to agree with me. I need everybody to be on my side. Wow. That is laughable. That is laughable. I don't need everybody to agree with me. I do my own thing. That's it. That's it. I hope this is helping somebody. Do what you gotta do. Listen, if you want to start making 6 figures, if you want to improve the quality of your life, you want to start making 5 figures, 7 figures, my coaching is to help you to accomplish your goals. Not because of what I did. I'm a holistic business coach, is what I do in part. Is to help you to accomplish your goals. What do you need to do to get there? You only need the basics. The rest, there's so many things we can figure out. It's not hard to accomplish your goals. There's too much noise online. Too much noise. Too much noise. Everybody got an opinion. What does everybody's opinion got to do with where you want to go? Think about it. What does everybody's opinion have to do with where you want to go? I'm on this live stream. I have a few people and I'm giving it the best I can. Some of you are not doing live streaming because you're concerned there are not enough people coming to my live streams. You have to start. It doesn't matter. Just start. Just keep going. And there are many ways to reach your customers and clients. You have to think, what am I trying to accomplish, right? You have to think, what are my goals? Because there are many ways to do this. Live streaming is not the only way, but it's a good way. Live streaming is a great way to practice speaking, okay? Live streaming is a great way to practice loving who you are and appreciating yourself. Live streaming is a great way to learn how to show up online for you and for your audience, the people that have similar values to you. We all have different values, okay? For me, family is a big deal. So I'm a coach for people that are family-minded, however your family type comes. Some of us have become single parents by choice. So how do we make it work for you? If I could relocate to a country I had never been, if I could relocate and start a whole new life, leaving everything that is familiar. I didn't know anyone when I relocated to the United Kingdom. I didn't know anyone. If I can do that, you don't have to do the extreme, relocate to another country, unless that's something that you want to do. Don't be afraid. Some of you, your success is going to be in another country. Don't be afraid. It's a matter of doing your research and understanding what do you bring to the new culture that you're going. I didn't come to the United Kingdom because I was stranded with papers and I was trying to escape something. I knew I had something to contribute to the hospital, to the healthcare industry. I came with an entrepreneur mindset. It's a very important way to make sure that you make your life work. I came with an entrepreneur mindset. I didn't have to watch over my shoulder. I didn't have to be concerned about anything. That is a smart way to do things, guys. And I know there are political reasons for different things, but that's not what we're discussing right here. Now, with social media, you don't even need to relocate to another country that is far away. I like to say for example, I'll give Africa as the example because that's a continent I know and I've come from. Maybe you're in an environment for political or religious reasons, there's danger. Go to another part of Africa. Go to another part of Africa. I highly recommend this. Go to another part of Africa. I was watching a documentary, I'm going to do some more research on it, where Africa is owning its own internet services. That is exciting development. Just go to another part of Africa. Don't put your life at risk. Go to another part of Africa where there's internet access. Find a basic job like working in hotels. Find a basic job if it means you start over with cleaning services in a wealthy company, by the way. That's completely different. You can start providing cleaning services in a big chain of hotels. Before you know it, you can relocate wherever you choose. You start studying at night. It is so important how we think, how we solve our problems. Don't complicate your life, make things worse for yourself. Don't complicate your life and make things worse for yourself. How do you navigate from where you are to where you need to be? Think, what do I have? What is my skill set? What do I know? Okay? And it could be a different scenario. You come with your partner, you relocate to another country, and you start having problems. You start to see that your partner is disrespectful or they treat you so badly. They treat you like... Start studying. Start studying. Because we all have a right to exist. You have a right to exist on your terms, to do your life by design. So I've got some training for those of you who are intentional, you're strategic, like Coach Meg, what do I need to do so that I can start doing this on a consistent basis? Sometimes I realize I keep postponing things. It's because there's no investment. When you haven't made an investment in your future, forget about it. Think about it. All of us, some of us are going into our third careers, right? There is some investment involved. When we are trying to go somewhere else, there is some investment. We leave our parents' home, we invest in some training so that we can do life on our terms. Think about it. So leaving a job sometimes is a similar thing. And I'm not saying everybody must leave their job. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I'm speaking to those of you who need some support to become more visible, to show up online and in all the right places, because there's a lot of noise online and you have to be careful. If you want to accomplish your goals, you want to make sure that you are in the right places and spaces so that you can accomplish your money goals, your lifestyle goals, okay? So building your personal brand is understanding, what else am I good at? What else can I do? and to be kind to yourself. Please be kind to yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I'm just checking something. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. This is fun. I'm just seeing something. I am just seeing something. That is so cute. I was just seeing one of my brother's photos. He's doing some extra training. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. My dad left us a great legacy. He left us a great legacy. He always used to tell us, make sure self-education is like a parent for you. You don't need to go to Harvard, to Oxford. Times have changed. You can learn how to promote your products and your services to your audience. And if you notice you're not getting the feedback you need, if the audience you are speaking to are not investing in your products and in your services, you have to start talking to people who will appreciate what you have. Because listen to this, just like in real life, some people will not appreciate the value that you bring. Some people will not appreciate the value that you bring. It's nice to be liked. Oh, I like you. And it's nice for people to clap. But does that pay your bills? No. It doesn't pay your bills. It doesn't pay your bills. To become visible online is learning to get rid of the noise. There's a lot of noise online. There's a lot of noise online. It can be easy to get distracted. I'm just going to pause a little bit. Anybody have any questions so far? I'm just going to do that a little bit. There's very little engagement. I'm not sure why that is. Because I know Coach Meg I'm always talking about family goals, living a lifestyle that you enjoy, enjoying your children, enjoying your partner, your husband, your wife, because you don't have stress on your mind. You can look into each other's eyes like with no stress. When your husband comes home, you're not behaving like you are allergic. Isn't it funny? I like to say, sometimes even it's really weird. A man comes home, he's not helping you to make life better for you, but he expects you to be a good wife, to be loyal, to be faithful. She is stressed out, she's exhausted, but he expects you to play wifey. He's not willing to help you to improve your quality of life. I like to say the worst form of slavery is behind closed doors. The worst form of slavery is behind closed doors. The worst type of slavery is behind closed doors. The one that you can't prove. So showing up online is a powerful thing where you decide, I'm doing this for me. I don't care who likes it, who doesn't like it. And here is the business skill, understanding where your ideal audience is. You know what I love about the online space? You can start your whole new journey all by yourself. You can start a whole new journey all by yourself. It doesn't even matter what your past is. It doesn't matter what your story is. You decide, I'm going to do this for me. It is the biggest gift you can give yourself, is to start building your own personal brand online, your own business, your own. It doesn't matter what your religious background is. It doesn't matter what church you go to, because there are some church people, they are weird. There are some church people, they are weird. I've been around. They are weird. When you start talking about doing well in life, they'll just start quoting the scriptures. They don't understand. If you don't use your gifts and talents, you will not see any change. If you're hiding your gifts and talents, one day God is going to ask, what did you do with the gifts and talents I gave you? Hey. Some of us, our way out of toxic relationships, toxic work environments, is using our gifts and talents. We have to. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, then you have to stay in this horrible environment. Think about it. Think about it. If I stayed in my toxic, below cost of living income, there's no way anyway. I wouldn't have stayed. I can't even imagine. No way. I'd already crossed oceans, countries. I'd already escaped environments where if you just say something wrong to the taxi driver, he's going to stop the taxi, push you out of the taxi. Oh yes, I lived and worked in South Africa too. With people who are living with rage that they don't know what to do with. So if you say anything that's different from what they think, they'll push you out. Showing up online is a powerful thing. I've been speaking about this for a while. For those of you that are willing to invest some time and resources, I want to help you to build you to the next level, okay? So I need you to be willing to invest some time, because that means I want to be taking you step by step how to build an email list, how to start talking to your ideal audience so that you are generating the revenue for the type of work that you are doing. Some of you are coaches, right? Some of you are making different things. Some of you are teachers. Some of you are transitioning from a tech background. Some of you have had horrible experiences with work where you were dismissed, and you may be feeling a little bit like, wow. And you have to be careful not to give away too much power to organizations and companies. Don't do that. Don't give away too much power to organizations and companies. People do what they do. People do what they do with their companies and organizations. It's your turn. It's your turn to do your own thing.